All right, this is the Algebra 1, Unit 5, Lesson 2 video over slope-intercept form. So in the previous lesson, we were working with the standard form of the equation, and now we're going to be working in the slope-intercept form. So real quick, just to review, the slope-intercept form is the form of the equation, which we talked about previously, where you have the slope and intercept actually written in the equation itself. So it's already set up to have the slope and intercept there for you. So in this equation, the slope is right here. And if you remember, the slope is also known as the rise over run. In other words, it's when you look at the graph, right, it's how much the graph is changing over up and over each time. So we have our rise and our run there. So rise being that, run being across. So remember that's what our slope refers to. And our y-intercept, oops, sorry about that. Y-intercept refers to when you're looking at your graph, you have a line going through here. And the y-intercept is here. It's the place where it crosses the y-axis. All right, so that's the basics. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting equations in that form. So we have here an equation that's not in slope-intercept form. This one's actually in standard form. So in order to get it into slope-intercept form, it's pretty clear what we need to get the y by itself. And so we're just going to do some basic algebra stuff that we learned in previous units to get this into that form. So I can see here the y is already on this side of the equation. So we want to keep this kind of where it is. We want to leave that alone. So we're going to move the 4x across by subtracting 4x from both sides. And when I do that, I get this cancels out. And I get y equals, which is what I want. And then I'm going to rewrite it like this, negative 4x plus 3. This is a positive 3, so it goes down as a plus 3. And that actually is already in slope-intercept form. So we already have everything we need to graph it. So remember, to graph these, we have our slope. And we have our y-intercept. So we start with the y-intercept. It's plus 3, so that point goes right there. And the slope is negative 4. That means it's going to go down 4 over 1. Okay, so negative 4 is negative 4 over 1. Y-intercept is 3. So it's going to be down 4 over 1. Down 4 over 1. So we're going to go back up here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And so it gives us down 4 over 1 right there. And we could do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And so this would be the line as graphed with my y-intercept of 3 and my slope of negative 4. The rest of these are more or less like that. They're just set up differently. So in this one, the y is not by itself, but it has a 2 with it. So we need to get rid of that 2 first. So we're just going to divide everything in this equation by 2. That's going to cancel, giving me y equals, which is what we want. 5 over 2x is just going to stay like that. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is my slope-intercept form. Okay, and then we're going to pull out our slope, right, which is 5 over 2. That's going to be up 5 over 2. And then we have a y-intercept of negative 3. So we go up over here and we say our y-intercept is negative 3. That goes right there. And the slope is up 5 over 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. There's my next point. And then I can just go ahead and graph the line through those 2 points. So that's pretty much what you're doing here. So let's look at one more example. This one's, again, not set up for us. So we're going to need to rearrange it. We want to get the y by itself. So we're going to start by subtracting 2x. We're going to move that x across. We're going to be left with 3y still on this side equals negative 2x plus 12. And we're just going to keep solving. So we're just doing basic algebra to solve for y, to get y by itself. Y equals negative 2/3 x. Sure, that looks like a 2 there. It's a little weird. 2/3 x plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's my slope-intercept form. My intercept is 4, so that's going to go right here. And I have a slope of negative 2 over 3, which is down 2 over 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And there it is. And so this would be my line right there. All right. So that's pretty much it on those. So you just need to be rearranging the equations to where they're in slope-intercept form and then graph the line. Now the rest of these, they're going to ask you to write it in slope-intercept form. They're going to give you some information, and you're going to have to solve for the slope-intercept form. So again, we're looking to get it into the y equals mx plus b equation. Now if they give you the slope and y-intercept like this one's very, very simple. You don't have to do really any work at all. You're just going to put everything where it belongs. We know that the slope is going to go here, and the y-intercept is going to go here. So my equation is going to look like this. Y equals 4x plus 2. And we're done. That one's really easy. Now, what if they don't give me the y-intercept? What if they just give me a random point? Okay, well, we still know what our slope is. Let's write our equation over here. They give us another point. So in this instance, what you're going to do is you're going to take all of these numbers and you're going to plug them in for x, for y. Sorry about that. It's a little messy. Let's fix that. For x, for y, and for m. So I'm going to take those values and I'm going to plug them into this equation. So let's look at what happens. So y is 3 equals m is negative 2 times x is 1 plus b, because we're going to solve for b. So I'm just going to work this out. 3 equals negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus b. And then I'm going to solve this equation by adding 2 to both sides, giving me b equals 3 plus 2 is 5. So now I have my m and I have my b. So I run over here and I say, okay, y equals negative 2x plus 5. So I already have my m, and then I just found my b there. So you're going to be doing that with those anytime they give you the slope and 1 point. Now, what if they give me 2 points? Well, in this case, I need to first use my slope formula, which is going to be y2 minus y1. We went over this in a previous lesson. x2 minus x1. So I'm going to plug those points in here. Remember, this is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to do that first. So here we go. So we're going to go plug everything in. Let's see what we get. Y2 is 2 minus y1 is 4. x2 is 3 minus x1 is negative 3. So when I work all that out, 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 3 minus negative 3 is 3 plus 3 is 6. Reduce the fraction and I get 1/3. So that's the m of my slope-intercept form. So then I do what I did earlier, which is I go in and I plug everything into the y equals mx plus b. You can choose either point, but no, you already have your m right there. So we're going to do y, and we'll just choose this first point. So y is 4 equals negative 1/3 times negative 3 plus b. Go down here, negative 1/3 times negative 3. Well, that's going to cancel out to 1. You can always use your calculator for that if you need to. So this reduces to 1 plus b. So 4 equals 1 plus b, minus 1, b equals 3. And then I take all of that together to say y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3. Again, that's coming from my m and my b. Let's do another one of those, and this will be the last one for this. So we have some points. So let's go ahead and find our slope, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Go ahead and plug everything in. y2 is 3. It's coming from here. Minus y1 minus negative 5. Divided by x2, which is 3 also. Minus x1, which is 1. 3 minus negative 5 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 over 2 is 4. So our m is 4. So then I go back to my y equals mx plus b, and I plug everything into that. Let's make that an arrow. And I get, we'll use, it doesn't really matter which one we use, but we'll use the second point. 3 equals 4 times 3 plus b. 3 equals 12 plus b. Minus 12, b equals negative 9. So then I have my two values that I need. So I go back into here and I do y equals 4x minus 9. So that's what you're doing in this review sheet that they gave you for lesson 2. Follow along with the examples I've done. I've done an example of every problem in here. And that is it for lesson 2.